Hello, good morning. Buenos dias. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little stiff this morning. Hello, hello, hello. Morning moves. Let's get going. The heat is working in our condo now, which is really exciting. We were doing pretty well. We had some interesting bouts with some cold water, which are now over. So we're kind of excited about that. And now we've got not only hot water, but we also have heat. So yeah, it's all tied in together apparently. So I'm not going to lie, I'm a little stiff this morning. So let's get started with a little walking in place. Starting here. Yeah. And try to be standing really upright so that you're not looking down at your feet, looking more towards the horizon. And then bring that weight into the right foot and keep your left knee lifted. Notice how your balance feels. Mine's a little off on this side. Root down through the foot, but put a little grip in your toes. A little grip in your toes. Yeah, a little skip in your step, a little grip in your toes. And then switch sides. Put the weight into the left foot. Lift your right knee. Good. A little grip in the toes. That's it. And you're breathing. Nice deep breaths. Excellent. All right. Now we're going to switch and go into chair pose and just take a little baby chair. Don't take a big chair. It's a little chair. You can look down to your toes in front of your knees. Take your hands to your thighs. Look forward towards the horizon. And let's create a little bit of a back bend in the spine, especially in the low spine, and squeeze your shoulder blades together, broaden across your chest. So it's almost like we're going to go into a standing cat-cow here. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, round your spine. Tailbone drops, knees stay bent, chin is tucked. Good. Inhale, chest lifts, tailbone flips up. That's it. And then exhale, round. Navel to spine as well. Good. Do that two or three more times. We're breathing in, creating the back bend, and breathing out, rounding. And as you actively pull that navel in and up, there's a little baby lift in the pelvic floor. Breathing in, lift, chest forward and up, flip that tailbone, and exhale, round. Squeeze it in and up. One more time like that. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Slowly stand back up. Got cat hair all over me. And hold Tadasana mountain pose. So now, one of the things that happens as we live our lives, gravity takes hold, right? It starts to, all that pulling downward and less supporting upwards. And so we need to counteract some of that. So we continue to have support at the pelvic floor, support from there up into the organs, and holding the organs above the reproductive and waist bags down here. And we're keeping that support so that the organs don't sink so heavily down, right? Through our core strength. So what I'd like you to think of is zipping yourself up from the soles of your feet, through your inner thighs, through your center, pelvic floor, abdominal muscles engaged, chest slightly lifting, and the gaze towards the horizon. And breathe. Good. Inhale, lift your arms up to frame your head. And as you exhale, think of that from the base, right? From your root, holding it up as you fold down. Next time you inhale, lift halfway up. And as you exhale, step back to plank pose. Good. So we're going to hold plank pose. Same idea here. You're in Tadasana, but you're in plank pose. So you're on your hands and your balls of your feet. Zip up to your inner thighs. Feel the pelvic floor lifting. Abdominal muscles engaged. All the way up through the top crown of your head. Not the muscles, but the alignment all the way up through the top crown of your head. Good. Now you exhale back to downward facing dog. And you're breathing. Stay here with your breath. In and out. So there's nothing wrong with aging, but there's also nothing wrong with, I don't want to say fighting it, but essentially fighting it every step of the way. Breathing in, come forward to plank pose. As you exhale, drop just your knees down. Keep your knees, hips, and shoulders in one line. Take a deep breath in here. And let's do 5 Chaturanga Push-Ups on the exhales. Exhale, lower halfway down. Knees stay on the floor. Inhale, push away. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, push away. Now pay attention to pelvic floor and abdominal area. Exhale, lower down. 2 more. Last one. And lower all the way to the mat this time. Point your toes. Lift your shoulders, neck, and head away from your mat, coming into Cobra Pose. Good. Stay here as you exhale. Slide your hands down your mat. Turn them so the palms are facing down. Lengthen through the top crown of your head. Okay, and then again, zip up from your inner thighs all the way to the pelvic floor. From the abdominal wall. Good. Lift and squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other. One more breath in here. And then exhale, lower your hands, chest height, forehead towards the floor. Curl your toes under. Inhale, press just the torso up, hips, and keep the knees down. Exhale back to downward facing dog. And when I say fight it, I don't mean in the sort of arguing sort of way with fisticuffs. But if we continue to take good care of ourselves, we continue to thrive and live the best life we can. With maybe arthritis, other things that come up as we age and deteriorate, we can still live our best lives. We need to keep these healthy habits, not suddenly spring them on an older body. Inhale, lift your left leg up into the air. And as you exhale, pull the knee forward, then lightly step that left foot up between your hands. Nice. Drop your right knee down to the mat. Good. Uncurl the toes behind you. Walk your hands up to that left thigh. Breathe in here. And as you exhale, drop your hips forward and down. This way, when we're living our lives, no matter what age we're at, we can optimize the time that we have to enjoy life as we wish, with doing and experiencing the things that we love, with the least encumbrances as possible. Good. Let's take the hands back down to frame that front foot and press back to downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. Now your left leg is getting, And now your right leg's going to go into the air. And as you exhale, step that right foot up between your hands. Help it if you need to. Left knee lowers down in the back. Walk your hands up to the top of that right knee and breathe in here. Releasing your hips forward and down. Relax your tongue and your jaw. Keep your gaze towards the horizon. Just releasing that front hip flexor. So then you're not saving up your energy and your resources for a rainy day or a perfect workout day or a perfect training day. You're experiencing and enjoying all of those days as much as you can, with as much exuberance, as little pain, and as much joy. Drop your hands down to frame that front foot. Curl those back toes under, downward facing dog. And breathe in. Breathe out. With an alertness to the world around you and experiencing your experiences you're having, rather than, these being tired, fatigued, pushing through, which we do have to do sometimes for our work, our productivity. But even these things we can thrive at developing these good and healthy habits. Inhale, lift your heels, look forward. And at the bottom of your exhale, walk, step, or hop your feet up to meet your hands. Once you get to the front, hands to shins, lift halfway up. And exhale, fold back over your legs. Breathing in, long spine, arms reach around and up, press down through your feet. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, lower your hands by your sides, Tadasana, mountain pose. Good. Now, from here, I'm going to take the weight into the left foot again, lift the right knee forward. Good. Find your balance, gazing towards the horizon. Good. Keep your left hand on your hip, and we're going to kick that right foot back behind us. Don't open the hand out. So just take the arm in neutral, keep it in neutral, reach back, grab that right ankle. The knee is going to start to go back, right? And you'll let your pelvis tilt forward. We're not going into dancer pose, just playing with a little bit of the balance. And now come back upright, bringing the knees next to each other. Reach for the top of the foot, maybe lifting the elbow, not backhand, and squeeze the thighs in and the heel towards your right buttock. Just releasing that right quadricep. Good. And see if you can keep your chest and rib cage facing forward. And breathe in here. Good. All right. Now slowly release the foot towards the floor. Resist the urge to walk it out. Just standing on both feet. Feel the energy start to redistribute through both feet and legs. Good. We're going to go right to the other side. Bring your weight into your right foot and right hand to your hip. Bend that left knee, kicking the heel behind you. Keep the arm in neutral. Grab hold of the ankle. Okay, and we'll let the knee kick behind us. Feel the internal rotation just a little bit of that left thigh as you tilt your pelvis forward. Keep your gaze towards the horizon. That's it. And now we'll come upright. Just bring the inner thighs towards each other. Bring the front of the pelvis upright a little bit more. Good. Lift a little more through your rib cage. Maybe slide your hand towards the toes and squeeze that left heel towards the buttock. Good. Stretching the left quadricep. Knees are together. Good. And release. Resist the urge to walk it out. Stand on the feet. Nicely done. Breathe in and out. Now we're going to take a nice wide stance on our mats. And take it wide enough that you can stretch your arms out to the sides here, and imagine you've got a plumb line dropping from your wrist to the outer ankle. That's how wide your stance is here. Good. Let's turn the right toes towards one end of your mat. Push the left heel behind just a little bit at an angle and bend your right knee. Okay, so kind of a little bit of a lifted warrior two stance, right? We're not getting this front thigh parallel, okay? Breathe in here. And as you exhale, focus on lifting the inner arches. Activate the inner thighs. Lift right up through the center of your pelvic floor. Good. Firm the abdominal wall. Good. Take your hands right across the stomach at your belly button. Good. And tilt your torso towards that right thigh. Good. Then eventually bringing your right forearm to the thigh and reaching your left arm alongside your ear. Draw the right knee forward just a little bit more. Good. Stay here as you exhale. Lengthen the right side of your waist. Good. One more breath in here. And as you exhale, we're going to take our hands down to frame that front foot and lift the back heel. Sorry, straight frame that right foot and lift your left heel. Okay, now, so you're in a low lunge position here, and you're resting on the tips of your thumbs and fingers. Let's straighten that front knee, the knee you're folded towards. Keep the back heel lifted. Breathe in here, lengthen through your spine. And as you exhale, maybe that left side waist and torso drops towards the, right side waist and torso drops towards the leg. Relax the back of your neck. And again, the back heel is still lifted. Just releasing the back of the thigh here. And slowly rebend your right knee. Keep the back heel lifted. Feel like your feet are definitely hip distance apart here. Lift up into high lunge. Arms reach up to frame your head. Nicely done. Good. I'm a little off balance this morning. We're going to now straighten that front knee a little bit. Rotate the back heel down. Spread the arms. Good. Pause here. And lower the arms down. Parallel your feet once more. And bring your hands to your hips. Squeeze the elbows back behind you. Breathe and lift the sternum, the front of your chest. And as you exhale, take your bow, forward fold. Good job. Relax your neck and let the top crown of your head drop down towards the floor. Breathe in and out. Great. Take your hands back to your hips, bend the knees slightly, and slowly come back up. Trying to move up through a flat back, flat-ish, your spine is curvy. Turn the left toes now towards the other end of your mat. Let the right heel move slightly behind the toes. Bend that front knee. So we're coming into that sort of almost fully a warrior two on this side. Again, that front thigh is not parallel with the mat. Bring your awareness to your hips here with the hands. Nice. And then lift from those inner arches. Lift up through your inner thighs. Lift through your pelvic floor. Good. Interlace your fingers loosely across the stomach and lift the chest. Good. Breathe in here and then slowly start to tilt towards that back thigh, that left thigh. Drop your left forearm on the thigh. Reach your right arm alongside your ear and breathe in here. Good. Lengthen the left side waist. Stay with your breath. Notice if you've started to collapse at your root. Engage from those inner arches all the way up into your root. Good. Now we'll rotate to take the hands down and frame that front foot. Lift the back heel. That's it. And straighten the front, that knee, the left knee. Lengthen your spine. Reach it forward and up. That back heel stays lifted. And as you exhale, folding down now, maybe your left side waist and the torso reaches to that left thigh. Relax your head down as you relax that back of your neck. Shoulders are still lifting away from the ears. So anatomically, they're dropping down, but in this direction of which you're folded, they feel like they're lifting up towards the ceiling. Back heel still lifted. Good. Slowly rebend the left knee, and you just check to make sure your feet are hip distance apart before you come up into high lunge. Good. And balancing here, gaze towards the horizon. Stay with your breath. You got this. And then straighten the front knee. Rotate the back heel down. Good. Arms are out. Nicely done. And then lower your arms, parallel your feet. This time we'll interlace the fingers behind you, or you can hook the thumbs, whichever feels more accessible. Let the elbows straighten as you lift your hands, your giant knuckle away from you. Broaden across your collarbones and chest. And fold forward. Keep the arms wherever they end up going with the elbows straightened. So they might go up towards the ceiling. They might move away from your back. They might still stay towards the back. Lift the shoulders away from your ears. Lift into those knuckles or fingertips if you've got your thumbs hooked. Find the weight across the soles of your feet, a little more balanced. And again, a lift in the pelvic floor. And slowly release your hands down, your legs towards the shins. Come halfway up. Hands to your hips. Come all the way up. Step your feet together. Pause. Try to resist the urge to walk it out here. And breathe. Good. Let's come on to our backs now. Knees bent. Soles of your feet on the floor. Good. And let's take the left ankle over the right thigh. That's it. And bring the right thigh in. Interlace your fingers behind it. Let the left ankle be gently flexed at the foot. So not flopping here, but a little flexion. And it just requires a little engagement of the muscles around the knee joint. And you're getting a little opening through the outer left hip. Press the tailbone down towards the floor, then hug the thigh in. And this is increasing that sensation maybe around your left hip. We're going to release the right thigh, drop it down, but keep that left ankle over the hip. Push into your right foot and lift your hips, shift them over towards your left. And now drop with the ankle on the thigh, drop your knee over towards the right. Good. Take your right hand to the inside of that knee and open your left arm out to the side. And you can get a little pressure of the thigh and knee away from you. If that's too much sensation around the hip, just back off a little bit. Let your left rib cage soften towards the floor with that left hip. Excellent. Come back to center, pushing into the right foot to lift the knee back up. Shift your hips back to center. Uncross your left ankle. Pause with your hands resting on the stomach just for a second. And then bring those upper arms in towards the rib cage. Elbows are bent, fingertips pointing towards the ceiling. Press into the upper arms, lift the rib cage away from the floor with the spine. And then push into the feet, lift the hips away from the floor. Keep your fingertips pointing up. Just notice the sensations and the maybe comparisons here inside the body. Now drop the hips down to the floor. Good. Take that right knee and thigh in and then externally rotate it, taking your right ankle across the left thigh now. That's it. Again, gentle flexion of that right ankle. And then hugging the left thigh in. Maybe one side is tighter than the other. And maybe interlacing your hands behind that left thigh. And you want to keep the tailbone, the back of the pelvis, and the sacrum all resting on the floor. So if we start to hug the knee in and everything, the sit bones and everything lift away from the floor, back off, good, and keep pressing the back of the pelvis into the floor as you hug that left thigh in. Once the sensation gets too intense, pause and back off a little bit before you re-engage in that stretch. And you're breathing. And you're relaxing your face. And you're doing things to get some movement and habits in your body that help you, that support you in your best efforts of being your best you. Great. Now release that left thigh down, foot on the floor. Press into that left foot, lift the hips up, shift them over towards your right. Then let the left knee drop down over towards the left. Left hand goes onto the inside of the right knee. Right arm goes out towards your side, shoulder height. There's a little bit of a push of the left thigh and knee away from you as you release the right knee away from you as you release your right hip down, right rib cage down. And maybe your head is turned in the same direction as your right hand. And you're breathing. It's a little bit of a twist and a hip opening. Excellent. Good. Let's lift that left knee back up. Press into that left foot. Shift your hips back to neutral. Uncross the right ankle from the thigh. Feet on the floor. Hug those upper arms in towards each other. Bend your elbows. Point your fingertips towards the ceiling. Push into the upper arms, feeling the rib cage lift away from the floor as your shoulder blades squeeze in. Push into your feet. Lift your hips up away from the floor. And breathe here. Good. Notice if the pelvic floor is engaged here, even feeling the inner thighs. Zip in towards the pelvic floor and up into the abdomen. Breathing in and out. And slowly drop everything down to your mat. Hug your knees in towards your chest. We're going to do one last thing here. Take the hands to the backs of your thighs. Rock yourself up to sit. Good. Now bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees go wide. So knees are in, feet are on the floor, soles of the feet turn in as the knees turn out. Good. Grab hold of the ankles or shins first and sort of press the pelvis forward. That might right there be enough of a stretch for you. Now engage from the pelvic floor, lift upwards. Good. And then walk your hands towards the toes, wrapping them up there, the front of your feet. Breathe in. And as you exhale, start to tilt the pelvis forward a little more, just as much as you find your sensation. And then you might interlace your hands beneath the outer edges of your feet. Look down at the soles of your feet, at your arches, and let the arches engage and lift away from each other. Your little book here. Heels are pressing in. Pelvis is moving forward. And your knees are pressing towards the floor. Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Kona is angle. A gentle lift in the pelvic floor here. This is one of those classes where you can go back and play it through and see how many times does Rebecca say pelvic floor. And breathe. Approach the sensation, pause and breathe, and then either back off or move into it a little bit more. Good. One more round of breath here. then slowly sit back up. So you could see you could do that posture for at least 5 minutes and move closer in and more in towards sensation. Bring the knees together. Fold your legs in like you're closing a book and turn to be lengthwise on your mat if you're not already there. Let's move those feet forward. Reach your arms up and forward, palms forward, and then low up and then lower down onto your back. Just 1 minute on your back, legs spread out, arms out to the sides, palms facing up. Press a little bit into your elbows, find your shoulder blades flat on the floor beneath you. Close your eyes. You can rest for 1 minute. Now slowly start to stretch your arms up overhead and breathe in deeply. Stretch your body like you're reawakening into your day. Hug your knees into your chest and take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Rock yourself up to sit. As you come up, place your right hand into a fist just above the pubic bone. Left hand envelops that. Hinge forward. Press back. And lift back up. Thank you so much for joining me this morning on our YouTube class, 7:35 Thursdays. I'll be back next Thursday. In the meantime, feel free to find me and all of our friends over on the Soul Collective live stream and on demand. Catch you next time. Thank you. Crawling over to a stop.